that feels really nice. That just seems to have rocketed off that club face. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We've got a review video for you today, and it's the hybrid category, and it's from Callaway, the new Apex 21 hybrids. We've got two options. We've got a bigger headed, adjustable hybrid, and then a little bit more of a neater, compact, maybe a little bit more of a player's style hybrid in the Apex Pro. So we're going to test both of these. Obviously, got trial on the floor as always, so we'll provide you with some data, numbers, as well as my personal feedback of the looks, the feel, and maybe which type of golfers these clubs are going to be aimed at. Okay, so we're going to start off with the new Apex 21, they call it. So this is the larger headed version of the two, and you know, first impressions here, down by the golf ball. It's quite a nice looking golf club, you know, for more of a larger style, and I think we sometimes see with the Apex is a little bit of a different sort of shape. It gets a little, quite high in that toe section. I think that's a really good thing for a lot of golfers. Obviously, we've got some adjustability here, so this is typically going to be probably aimed at maybe your sort of teen handicappers into your higher handicap golfers, possibly. We've got some adjustability, as we just mentioned there. We've got a weighted gram, 10 gram weight in the sole. This is a number 3, which is coming in at 19 degrees of loft. So let's get underway and get one here. First impressions, it sits very, very square, black gloss head, a little bit of carbon effect in that back section, plenty of blade length from that heel to the toe, so it does look very easy to hit. Ooh, that feels really nice. That just seems to have rocketed off that club face. Nice straight shot. 146 ball speed there. 238 carry. That's pretty fiery. That seems to come off very, very fiery. So say this is 19 degree. We've got some adjustability in that neck sleeve. We've got some jailbreak velocity blades, they're calling them now. So more of a blade as opposed to an actual sort of circular sort of rod in there now. So that's just helping again to support that crown and that sole. Stiffens the body, basically puts that energy back through that golf ball. It helps a little bit more on those low strikes, which typically your miss strike on the hybrid would be a little bit more low in that club face. Yeah, really solid, great sound to that as well. A very solid sound, not tinny or anything like that, or loud. Very solid sound, and looks to be flying very nicely as well. Gets that ball up and away quite easily. 243 carries, good distance there for a 3 hybrid. Oh, just feels very easy to hit. That's just jumping up and out there. Thinking of coming into a green, that ball as it comes into land, you know, that's going to stop. Loads of stopping power. Got a land angle there. You see just short of 42 degrees. We know that's going to stop. Well, that wasn't as good a strike. That was in that toe section. And that's probably the thing I like with this type of design with Callaway, with that slightly high toe section, is you're going to still get a lot of sort of mass in that toe because of obviously the extra material there. And you can see there, you know, that's a 142 ball speed. That wasn't a good strike. That didn't feel good at all. It's gone 2-4 in the carry, so it hasn't actually lost any distance there. So I quite like that design. I think if you get those toe strikes, you'll see a little bit more of that sort of solid connection on those toe misses. So availability-wise, in the Apex 21, they come from a 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the hybrid. So they're all available in right hand, and for left hand there's no 6 available, unfortunately, so it's the 3, 4, 5 only for left-handers. Okay, so there's that low in the face strike. It has jumped up and got up well, it's recovered well. Ball speed still good on that low miss hit, so possibly those velocity blades maybe doing a little bit of work there. You see that spin's gone up, just drops a bit of distance, mainly through that spin more than anything. So obviously you've got some dialing you could do with this. You know, you can change that loft through the Callaway neck sleeve. You can add the up to 2 degrees, takes obviously some loft off it. It'll subtly just change that face angle a little bit as well, so you can just dial that in. Good thing with this though is for the more sort of mass market in a way, in terms of a golf that will go into that, they tend to be very sort of draw biased, don't they? And I'm not really seeing that left shot with this hybrid. It sits very, very square, and it doesn't really want to go left too much, which I think is a good thing. Obviously, if I could add some loft to it, it would probably just shut that club face a little bit there, and then that would probably just make it a little bit more draw biased. Again, a little bit low, a little bit heel. but it's done quite nicely. Okay, so there's a few shots hit with the Apex 21. Let's move into the Pro. Okay, so we've now moved into the Pro head. So as the name suggests, we are now more into that sort of more compact head. Bit more of a like an iron-like sort of design is what Callaway is saying. Much more compact on that blade length from that heel to the toe. A little bit less from that face to the back of the golf club, so everything's just sort of squeezed in. And a little bit more of a square profile on that end section, which I quite like. But there is a little bit of a but here. It just looks a bit strange in that playing position. I like the shape of the head and everything, but it's just, the first thing that stands out, the white grooves there, they look like they're sort of offset more into that toe, so there's more of a gap between where the grooves end in the heel to the end of, or into the hosel, and then very little on that toe section. So when you look at it there, it looks like all the grooves are too far out into that toe. Just looks a little bit odd to my eye. You'll probably get over that, but again, sits very nice and square. Lovely little head. Again, this is a number 3, but this is now lofting at 20 degrees, so it's not as strong as the one we've just hit. Okay, again, felt very solid, really good sound, a little bit more firmer off that club face. That felt to me on that first hit. So obviously with the Pro, it's interesting there was no adjustability with this now. We've still got that 10-gram weighted screw in that bottom of the golf club, but there's no adjustable neck sleeve, which is surprising. So if you look at the brands like maybe say TaylorMade, for instance, they do that more of the Players hybrid, but then that's adjustable, and then maybe the more bigger option in terms of the Sim 2 is actually glued. So it's actually reversed around with a Callaway. And I think it's a good thing for that in terms of, you know, the golfer maybe want to start dialing that face in a little bit more, maybe sort of wanting to adjust the loft a tiny bit. But just interesting as you go into the Pro, no adjustability at all. It is what it is. So you're going to buy your loft and that will be it set. No face angle change or anything like that. Oh, that's a little bit low in the club face. Definitely feel it's not as forgiving. You know, you can just feel those missed hits more so than what you can in that first Apex I've hit. That wasn't a perfect strike. It's done okay there, but you feel it more. That's a better strike. It's a good flight. Still gets up there. Just looks to be a little bit more forward flying compared to the one we've just hit. So it's not quite as fiery off that club face there, is it? But then Pro's probably not designed really to be that fiery. I mean, we've still got the same sort of technology, and we've got the blades in there. We've got the cup face technology that we've seen in that previous, and like I say, we just haven't got that adjustability. We've got flash face in both of these clubs. That's a better shot, better strike. Just moving a fraction up that left side. I'll probably go a little bit further there with that one. That was a much better connection. Yeah, 241, that was the best strike of the lot there. So availability in the Pro version, they do a 2, 3, 4 and 5, available both right and left-handed. So could be a 2 would be a nice, it'd be interesting. I would love to have a 2 in that one. I just feel that's a much easier club to hit. So Pro's probably obviously aimed at more of that sort of single figure golfer, maybe somebody who's wanting a little bit more of a penetrating flight possibly, or prefers a little bit more of that iron sort of look characteristics in a way. Obviously the Apex 21 there is just a bit chunky, but having said that, that is much easier, much more forgiving, I would say, out of the 2 options. I could quite easily play that. I'd love to have a 2 option. They don't do one, unfortunately, but I'd love to have a 2 option in that. Yeah, again, feels great, feels solid. I like the shape of the head and everything. It's just those grooves look a little bit, just a bit weird to me, but okay, we'll hit one more shot. That's a good shot. Yeah, really good. Quite nice high flight on that. 144, really good ball speed on that one. That'll go a bit more distance, 241, really good. Okay, so maybe just see, probably had a few mishits with both there, to be honest. Probably a little bit few more maybe with the Pro there, just dropped off. Might not be as consistent. I think the forgiveness levels of the Apex 21 is much greater than what we see in the Pro version there. So obviously that would be probably the biggest seller out of the 2, I would sort of say. But post comments down below. Let me know your thoughts between those 2 hybrids. Sometimes hybrids are a personal thing, aren't they? The way they sit, the way they look, shot shape that you're going to get. So be interesting to hear your thoughts as always. Appreciate you watching the video as always. Do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Share the video around, hit the thumbs up, and hopefully we'll see you all very soon.